Hi, my name is Specialist Miller, and today I'm going to be giving a presentation on why diversity is important within today's Army. This briefing is going to remain unclassified. During my briefing today, I'm going to be covering some major topics on why diversity is important within today's Army. I'll also be bringing up some subtopics as well to further prove that point. I do ask that you guys please hold your questions to the very end of the presentation. At that point, I'll be more than happy to answer your questions so you guys have a more in-depth knowledge about the subject. Some key points on the agenda that I'm going to be hitting today is going to be complex problem solving, team building, cultural understanding, MOS and job availability, as well as national implications. Complex problem solving and diversity go hand in hand with each other. Everybody within the United States is different. Same applies to everybody within the United States Army. Somebody from a different background might have a different solution or answer to a problem at the task at hand. So we need to be able to understand that and recognize that, put our answers together to be able to get a good, clear, and concise answer to the task at hand so we can get it accomplished and have mission success. Also, what comes into play with that is we see somebody who is working harder due to the fact that maybe before he joined the Army, he had to work harder for everything that he had in life. Soldiers will recognize that, change their attitude and their work ethic to the point where they also work harder, which greatly intensifies the fact that we will have mission success. Cultural understanding is probably going to be one of the most important topics I talk about today on why diversity is important in the Army. Everybody within the United States of America is different. Everybody has a different race, religion, gender, or cultural background, or background on how they grew up in general. So within the Army, we need to be able to recognize and understand this and also be accepting of that to the point where we can have a good team bonding and cohesive bond within the members of our organization. Once that happens, we become a lethal fighting force. Diversity also has a major impact when we go to deploy abroad overseas. The majority of the Army deploys overseas very quickly, very rapidly, and all the time. So with us being able to be culturally understanding when in a deployment environment, it goes to show that people of foreign nations like the civilian populace and foreign militaries, they see that we're understanding, willing to learn, accept, and understand them. It has a good image on the United States Army as a whole, and also greatly improves mission success due to the fact that we're able to understand them and also accept them as well, and they're willing to accept us. Team building and diversity is also a big part as well. America is a giant melting pot. Nobody is the same. A good example of this is a rifle squad and the weapons that are comprised inside of it. A 240 and an M4 would have different job implications and different job titles, and they will not be able to do the same thing that the other weapon system will be able to do. It's the same thing when it comes to the people that are inside that squad. You put those people together, they put their ideas together to get the task at hand done, they become a very lethal fighting force. Acceptance makes a very strong team. Once we're able to accept them and learn from them, we become a very lethal fighting force as well. National implication plays a good role inside of diversity within the Army as well. America is a very diverse country. When the United States sees that our organization is very diverse, they feel very welcomed and they feel very accepted and very appreciative of our organization. Also, a diverse Army will not waver when it has over race, religion, gender, cultural background at all, due to the fact that we're a very, very diverse organization whenever we have to come up and actually defend our country at stake. Retention and recruitment is also very crucial within diversity within the Army. When people see the Army, they see diversity. They feel more at home. They feel welcomed by it. So that in turn also ups our recruitment numbers to the point where we have more people coming inside of our organization, making us a more lethal organization as well. Retention numbers will also remain high or either rise due to the fact that we see and recognize people's talents who come from different cultures and different backgrounds. So they're more willing to stay in, progress their careers, in turn also making us a more lethal fighting force. MOS and job availability also have a good hand when it comes to diversity as well within the Army. A 09 Lima is a military interpreter or a language interpreter as well. Without us having that tool within our arsenal, we would never be able to communicate with foreign nations due to the fact that we do not speak their language. If we can't speak their language, we can't understand them at all. We wouldn't be able to relay our message. We wouldn't be able to hear what they're trying to say, have their side of the story, and they also wouldn't be able to hear what our goals and our progressions are within that country as well. So once we are able to understand them and we can be able to decipher their language, at that point we are becoming more accepting and more understanding of that culture in general, which then gives us good cohesive bonds with that foreign country or that foreign military as well. In conclusion, America is a very diverse country. So is the United States Army. So when we come together to be more learning, more acceptable, and more understanding of different cultures and backgrounds, we become a very lethal task force to the point where we won't waver by race, color, religion, cultural background, or anything along those lines. Once we come together, we learn to accept each other, we become a lethal fighting force that nobody will be able to break. I always ask you guys to remain open-minded and more accepting of people, because if everybody can have that same goal in mind, everybody will be accepted, everybody will be understood, and everybody will be able to successfully complete the mission. If you have any questions right now, now is your time to ask, and feel free to ask as well. I'll be able to answer them as best as I can. Yes.
Do you think the world has a better view on the Army since it's so diverse?
Absolutely. Due to the fact that we're so diverse and we're able to communicate with countries who have different cultural backgrounds or languages as ourselves, it shows that we're more understanding of that culture or that background due to the fact that we're able to talk to them, we're able to understand them, and that we don't show prejudice towards them due to the fact that they're not of our own country. So I feel like a different country who views the United States Army as a whole would get a good feeling of us being diverse and also being accepting as well due to the fact that we accept them. Any more questions? I want to thank you guys for sitting in and listening to my presentation today on why diversity is so important to the United States Army. And this is the conclusion of my presentation. Thank you very much.